you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living out of a goofy, entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate. Google it if you want to know more. Any day, any...
On Netflix that night, we were like, holy fuck, I'm about to see the greatest live sporting event of all time.
Dana White has officially confirmed Jake Paul versus Andrew Tate, and this is the showdown everyone's been waiting for. Unlike Jake's usual matchups, where he faces opponents who are retired, irrelevant, just cashing in, this fight is different. Andrew Tate is not only in his prime, but also a fighter who knows how to deliver punches that hurt both physically and existentially. This isn't just another spectacle. It's a battle between two polarizing personalities ready to settle the score in the ring. This fight carries weight. Andrew Tate is stepping in to avenge Mike Tyson's legacy and expose Jake Paul as more PR stunt than true fighter. Tate's out to prove Jake's muscles are built on hype, perhaps more than a little artificial enhancement. It's a clash with purpose and plenty of drama.
Don't worry about Conor McGregor you up. Don't worry about Floyd Mayweather you up. You only want to lose to them so you can say, well, I lost to Conor McGregor. Why don't you lose to an old man who's retired? I live in the real world, Jake. There's a whole bunch of fighters out here who live in the real world. Men who are dangerous and dedicated their lives to this.
Dana White not only confirmed the fight, revealed Andrew Tate's deeply personal motivation, adding explosive intrigue.
You know, there's a lot of, in Portnoy went out and said that it was the greatest con job of all time, and I mean, if you didn't think that that's the way the fight, I don't know what people expect.
Andrew Tate isn't entering the ring for fame or fortune, though the $3 million purse doesn't hurt. This fight is about vengeance, pride, and restoring dignity to a sport Jake Paul has turned into his personal TikTok show. After Jake's painfully awkward match with Mike Tyson, widely dubbed a tragic comedy, Tate made it clear he's not holding back. It's about proving Jake doesn't belong in the ring.
Well, I'm trying so hard to not start internet beefs. I'm really trying not to. You could say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro,
don't worry about it.
No, I can't lie.
Bro, I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful now. I've got Fed agents in my house. Matrix is after me. I'm just trying to live peaceful.
Tate outright accused Jake Paul of disrespecting not only Mike Tyson, but the sacred art of boxing itself. To Tate, Paul's performance wasn't just underwhelming, it was an insult to every warrior who's bled, broken bones, or been knocked out chasing greatness.
Where his head's at in life in terms of what he wants to do.
Okay, but you didn't answer the question. Do you have any interest in it?
I don't know. I mean, Andrew has messaged me over the past few days, and
let's not sugarcoat it. Jake Paul's fight with Mike Tyson was more spectacle than sport. Tyson, nearing 60 and wearing a knee brace, still managed to challenge Jake and nearly outclass him. Yet, did Jake show humility afterward? Not a chance. He strutted around like he unified all the belts, proclaiming himself the greatest showman in boxing. The backlash was swift, and ruthless critics slammed it as a farce. Fans tore into him online, and even Tyson's loyal followers felt their idol had been reduced to a pawn in Jake's relentless clout chase. Enter Andrew Tate, stepping out of retirement like a gladiator from the Coliseum. He's here with a mission, to do what Tyson couldn't shut Jake Paul up for good.
Yeah, he'll never do that, though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract. And
he's
two,
not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it. He knows better.
Tate isn't one for subtlety. He's made it crystal clear Jake Paul needs a reality check, and he's ready to deliver it. No flashy press conferences or fake smiles here. Tate's putting $3 million of his own money on the line. Winner takes all. For him, this isn't about a paycheck or social media clout. It's a bold statement. He's determined to prove Jake doesn't belong in the world of real fighters.
Let's do it. No, seriously.
I'm about the action. Like, I'm less talk now. Let's just fucking go.
Yo, but you know for a fact, me and Jake will travel to Romania. We will make this happen. We'll do it wherever you want, whatever conditions you want. 2 brothers, 1 king.
Bold reminder that boxing belongs to real fighters, not wannabe influencers with oversized egos and dubious training. Tate backs his words with credentials: 4-time world champion, decades of grit, and a highlight reel that speaks for itself. then there's Jake. Oh, Jake. A walking, talking embodiment of a modern boxing era no one asked for. Fresh off his Tyson escapade, Jake did what he does best. Brushed off the criticism and doubled down on the theatrics. He dismissed the backlash as jealousy because clearly anyone who doesn't worship Jake Paul must be bitter about his success, right? He even took it a step further, mocking Andrew Tate by calling him a washed-up kickboxer and, for good measure, threw in some pot shots at Carl Froh. That's Jake's playbook. Drag people into his circus, toss out a few insults, and laugh all the way to the bank. Classic Jake.
Champions of the past, we have world champions of the present. There is a shield in the
Here's the twist. This time, Jake Paul isn't just the villain. He's teetering between being a loudmouth thriving on controversy and a fighter desperate to prove he's more than hype. Loss to Andrew Tate wouldn't just dent his ego. It would shatter the foundation of his empire, built on meticulously planned fights and viral moments. This fight could redefine Jake's entire persona in the boxing world.
Fighter, legitimate, badass motherfucker, strong mentality. Sorry, Tristan Tate is the weak link.
I say let's run
He got a bad shoulder. He's shaped like a gingerbread man. I don't want no beef, but that's delusion.
PFO will set this up.
A MMA double tag team match.
10 million for everybody.
You might have a
We all know Dana White isn't just a promoter, he's the chess master of combat sports. And Jake Paul versus Andrew Tate? That's his latest checkmate. Word is, White had finally had enough of Jake's circus act, years of influencer-driven boxing turning serious fighters into memes. Instead of rolling his eyes like the rest of us, White saw the chaos and thought, let's steer this shipwreck. He stepped in, crafted a compelling narrative, and voila, Jake Paul is now set to face a man who isn't here for clout, but for blood. Enter Andrew Tate, a fighter with real credentials and enough disdain for Jake to fuel the entire Vegas Strip.
Jake is actually quite a nice guy. I met Jake and he's actually quite a nice guy. I wanted to jump back in there and teach him all a lesson. And there were some fights on the card, some big fights for me being organized in November.
Dana White didn't sugarcoat it either, calling the fight the ultimate blend of skill, spectacle, and storytelling, a fancy way of saying this fight is going to be brutal, but you'll love every second. When Dana talks like that, you know he means business. This isn't just about throwing punches, it's about crafting a spectacle so massive it pulls combat sports out of the influencer mud Jake Paul has been stomping through. White's fingerprints are all over this fight, from brokering peace between the two camps because Jake's team likely wanted every possible advantage to ensuring the fight rules didn't turn into a TikTok challenge. White's involvement has transformed what could have been a cringy social media spat into the fight everyone's talking about, and he's making sure it lives up to the hype.
While you're next training, I know you're only 18 days away from a fight, but next time you're training and you want some sparring, fly to Romania and we'll spar and we'll film it and we'll decide if we want to release it or not afterwards. But I have no problem. We could have a sparring match anytime. That's easy,
let's
right?
do it. Let's do it, guys. I'm down for that, but we can't release it for free. That's like, it's like giving the people what they want.
Let's not pretend Dana White is here just for honor and glory. The man's a numbers guy. Jake Paul's Tyson fight, yes, disaster, still drew 65 million viewers and generated over $18 million in ticket sales. While the fight may have been a train wreck for boxing purists, Dana sees a gold mine in these influencer bouts. But here's the catch. If it flops, it drags everyone's credibility down, including his. So, being Dana, he stacked the deck. Andrew Tate isn't just some random name on a spreadsheet. He's the kind of fighter who doesn't pull punches, whether inside or outside the ring. Dana's playing the long game, and Tate's his ass.
You dislike Jake Paul? Now, I don't dislike him. I understand him. I want to make something clear. I would still kick the living out of Jake Paul. I'm not some washed-up UFC fighter. I'm not smaller than him. I would beat the living shit out of him, and if he wants to fight, I'll fight him. We reckon he knows that. However, I do understand what he's doing. I understand that he is very, very smart, even with his marketing angle. I'm just a YouTuber. You're not just a YouTuber. You're a full-grown man with the best coaches in the world who's dedicated his life to learning how to box for years. You know how to box. You're not a complete amateur. You know how to box very well. 3, 4, 5 years of training combat sports. You can.
Andrew Tate, on the other hand, has made it his mission to call out Jake Paul for every misstep, inflated ego moment, and poorly executed win. For Tate, Jake's career is just a reality show with gloves. While Jake's fans tweet about his so-called impact on boxing, Tate is out here reminding everyone that real fighters don't pad their records with retired athletes and gimmick matches. He's here to expose the truth.
Say he would call you to fight. Would you take it?
Yeah, I mean, Jake and I actually talk. He's an all right guy. There was a time we were talking about fighting each other, and I think if this arrest didn't happen, it probably would have come to fruition. We'll see what happens in the future. We'll see. Perhaps.
Tate has been especially vocal about Jake's fight with Tyson, calling it a cash grab and a stain on Tyson's legacy. Tyson struggling to get into the ring in a knee brace, while Jake strutted around afterward like he'd defeated a prime Tyson, infuriated Tate. To him, it wasn't just disrespectful, it was an insult to boxing itself. Tate believes Jake belongs in a clown show, not in the same conversation as legends. Tate isn't all talk. He's mastered the art of psychological warfare, tearing into Jake Paul's reputation at every turn. From calling him a fraud to mocking his amateur theatrics, Tate's strategy is as calculated as it is relentless. He's out to strip Jake of his bravado piece by piece until all that's left is insecurity and regret. But here's the kicker. It's not just words. Tate has promised Jake a reality check like no other, vowing to show him what it means to face a fighter who doesn't see boxing as a quick cash grab, but as a true test of skill, heart, and grit.
I'm trying to live peaceful now. I've got Fed agents in my house. Matrix is after me. I'm just trying to live peaceful.
But of course, I have absolute faith in myself and my brother.
Meanwhile, Jake is still doing his usual thing, mocking Tate, dragging Carl Frosch into the mix, and generally being the loudest guy in the room. This time, Jake knows the stakes are higher. If he loses, it's not just his record taking a hit, it's the entire empire he's built on bravado, hype, and a carefully curated roster of hand-picked opponents. For Jake, this fight isn't just another payday. It's a gamble that could either solidify his brand or blow it up in spectacular fashion. So here we are, Dana White pulling the strings, Andrew Tate delivering a masterclass in mind games, and Jake Paul standing on the edge of a career-defining cliff. This isn't just a fight, it's a battle for the future of combat sports. Will it belong to real fighters with scars to prove it, or will the influencers keep running the show? One thing's for sure, when the bell rings, the gloves won't be the only thing coming off. This is about much more than just boxing.